How do you understand the body?
Zeus binding Prometheus to the rock to have his liver pecked out. And I can't help but maybe overinterpret that in that image, Zeus is binding forethought to the earth. He's tying it to the ground. And I mean, Prometheus is then in this sort of agony. And the image looks like that for Blake. And I think the explicit thing he's trying to say to us is the agony of humanity is not at the moment of the departure from the Garden of Eden. It's for the moment we're made physical. Up until that moment, you keep dreaming stuff, you can imagine it, and it all works out in your imagination. The struggle of humanity is in practice. The things you imagine don't work out, and you're constantly faced with the agony of nothing panning out as planned. The thing I try and say in the book is, yeah, we're cursed with that, but we're blessed with the optimism to believe next time it's going to work out different. Because the reason that happens is there's no possible way our brains can understand the way that the world around us is going to pan out.
A short part of this book I mentioned from Merleau-Ponty, because I think what he's suggesting is kind of like the exact opposite. Here it is. The enigma of being human derived from the fact that my body simultaneously sees and is seen. That which looks at all things, that is the human body, can also look at itself and recognize in what it sees the other side of its power of looking. It sees itself seeing. It touches itself touching. It is visible and sensitive to itself. It is a self, not by transparency like thought, which never thinks anything except by assimilating it, constituting it, transforming it into thought, but a self by confusion, narcissism, inherence of the seer in the see, the toucher in the touched, the feeler in the felt, a self then that is caught up in things, having a front and a back, a past and a future. So what he's describing here to me is, because he's using the painter, what enables the painter to paint things in a way that if you took photography, it would look completely different. But because he's painting things that are not there, and at the same time we understand that they are there because we have this body, because we are like the things we're looking at, because we're in the world, we see the world from within. We doesn't stand outside and look at things. The world is around us, so to speak. And that's only possible because of the body. That's how we understand, connect, reflect, communicate, not only with each other, but also with the animals and the trees and the nature. And we know how the world works because we work the same way.
If you go back to the skeptics, the Greek skeptics, who sort of say, well, we can't trust our senses because look, I can show that they're broken. Well, Konrad Lorenz says, yeah, well, the reason we can trust these things is because over time we've survived. And we might not understand how we're sharing information in a sort of analytical, in the same way I'm saying, well, we don't actually understand how we walk, but we just do it, you know. And this is the same thing. We don't have, I think, good analytical reconstructions of how we're doing what you've just described, but we just do it. And it's innate to us and it's part of us. And he's expressing that far more beautifully than I'd ever be capable of.